So I decided I wanted to make a horror game in only 24 hours. Messes spawn. Oh my god! Oh boy. And I want to make a game that can rival some of the best games in the indie horror genre. If I want to do that, then I need to come up with a top tier idea. So I'm thinking the game should happen in everyone's favorite place, a school. Because why wouldn't everyone want to run away from a horrific monster in their favorite place? Now the player will be an after-school janitor who we'll call Jimbo. And he's also a swole house that looks like Giga Chad, whose job is to clean up all the stinky messes left behind by the children. And if you don't manage to clean up all the mess, then you'll be fired by your boss. You're fired! Which Jimbo can't really afford right now because he's a single dad and he has 10 children he has to feed at home. Why, Maria? Why did you leave me? Anyways, while cleaning the messes, then a monster is going to appear and chase you around the school. But remember, while avoiding the monster, remember to clean up all the messes, or you'll still be fired. Oh no! Now, while creating the game, I'm going to break it up into 4 different sections. The school design, the objectives for cleaning the messes, the monster, and finally the ending. So let's start first with the school design. I started mapping out the entire layout of the school using ProBuilder, and after mapping out the shell of the school, I walked around in the scene to get a nice feel for it. Now it's about time we actually add some objects inside, because it's feeling pretty empty. So I cracked open Blender and started working on some models. First I modeled a simple door, because I'm pretty sure there's doors inside schools. Next I made some school lockers that we can put into the hallways, and to fill up the classrooms I made some desks and chairs, and some other miscellaneous items. On top of making the school items, I also decided to make the tools that Jimbo's going to be using. So I created some of the top tier gear that he can possibly have. A super sweet flashlight, and a rockin' broom. Now I can head back into Unity and add all these new assets into the level.
One hour later.
Oh yeah, now it's starting to look like a real school. But it doesn't really have that scary feel to it right now. So let's add some roofs to the school, some lights, and make the sky dark. Now after these changes, I think we're getting the right feel to our game. Now that we're done with the school design, it's time to start working on the objectives, which will be the stinky messes that children left behind for us in the classrooms.
Stinky!
Now make sure you subscribe too, because the children may leave a stinky mess if you don't. Now I need to hop back into Blender and create a model that represents our mess, which I made by using different color icospheres, cubes, and cylinders, along with using Blender's Scatter Objects add-on in order to randomly generate the objects across a plane. Now that we have our mess model, it's time to actually add it into the different classrooms, which I will be doing by creating a mess spawner, which will randomly spread out the mess across the classroom while at the same time avoiding overlap of existing items in the class. We can achieve this by finding a random position within the area, using a box collider and ray casting downwards, as well as adding a check if the position is occupied by a specific object on a specific layer. I also added in a mess count so it can calculate how many mess to spawn in each room. After all this coding, we can actually now have our mess spawn randomly within the room. I know, it's pretty complicated, right? Now that the hard part's out of the way, all we have to do is create a canvas that will help track our objectives, which is triggered after you pick up the clipboard left by your boss, which has a pretty sweet message for you. Now with the objectives done, it's time to move on to the best part. The monster. Now before I start modeling the monster, I'm going to work on his movement mechanics, which I'll be using Unity's built-in AI navigation from the package manager. This will help streamline the process, because we only have to add 3 components into our scene. First is the nav mesh surface, which tells the enemy all the walkable surfaces in our level. Next is the nav mesh obstacle, which tells our enemy all the obstacles in the level, like doors. And lastly is the nav mesh agent, which goes directly onto the enemy and communicates with the nav mesh surface and obstacles. Now that we have all the technical stuff done, it's time to get into the modeling. By now I was running low on time, so I only had a few hours to complete the game. So I decided to follow the advice of Yami Sukihiro and really push past my limits in order to complete the monster on time.
Those morons are probably pushing past their limits right now. Just like I'm about to.
So after 20 minutes of actually modeling the monster, I had a pretty good base for him. Now all that was left was to create some animations and texture him. So I added an armature and started working on some animations. Now, albeit they might not be the best animations, but like I said, I was running low on time and I was able to create 4. So I'll show you some of them right now, but I'll leave the last one for a surprise. I created the idle animation when the monster's just chilling around, a walking animation when it's wandering around the premises of the school, and lastly a running animation when it's chasing our dear Jimbo. If you want to see the attack animation, you're going to have to stick around and wait for that. So now that we have the enemy modeled, textured, and animated, it's time to import him to Unity. Now when we playtest, you can see that the monster moves and follows the player around in the scene. And with all that, now the monster is complete and we're on to our final section, the ending. Now in the future, I'm thinking about expanding the game and adding some more levels, but for right now, when you clean up all the messes, the level will just end. But I would quite say that it's pretty tricky to actually clean up all the messes with this monster. I may have made him too hard, but I'm going to show you guys some gameplay shortly. And I also want to say that I did add in some, let's say, spicy events that trigger when you clean up the mess. So with that said, let's start up the game. Jimbo's Night. At least that's what the title's right now. So let's go ahead and click play. Oh yeah. Okay, now we're in the game. First thing we gotta do first is read the nice clipboard our boss left us. Clean up the damn mess. The superintendent is visiting tomorrow, so I need the school spotless. Finish or you're fired. Love, Bobby. Alrighty, so we got 4 areas we gotta clean up. Let me go ahead and grab our flashlight and our broom. We're gonna ignore that, it's pretty empty right now. Alright, that door is open. Oh man, look at that. It's looking pretty nice, pretty nice. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go in and clean up all these messes right here. Look at that. They all lined up right next to each other for us. I may need to improve the lighting a little bit in the classrooms, but I think it's alright for right now. Running low on time, so I didn't have too much luxury of editing too much. Alright, let's finish this last mess. Oh shit! Oh boy, that must be that spicy event. So yeah, now we have a little event that triggers the light flicker. It's gonna get pretty spooky in a little here. Oh man, I'm not ready for this. Alrighty, where's the messes in this room? We got one right here. It's a little hard to see right now, I need to fix that. But it will suffice for now. Oh, did both messes spawn? Oh my god! Oh boy. Alright, oh no, there he is! Oh no, he's coming our way! Oh no, he's coming our way. Oh no, oh no. Oh boy. He's coming our way. Oh no. And we got yoinked. Alright. Yeah, there you go. There's the attack animation. It didn't work the best that time. Oh, man. Yep, that is definitely hard getting used to. Oh my gosh, there he is again. Yep, so here's the attack animation. So there you have it. There's Jimbo's Night, made it within 24 hours. A nice first-person horror game. Now I definitely want to expand the game down the road and get you guys involved as well. I would love to hear you guys' feedback, so give me some good comments down below on what we should add. Also to let you know, I'm going to be creating a Discord server. I want to have a place where I can chat with you guys online, maybe get some further playtesters if needed. It would also be a great way to talk through some of the comments and recommendations that you guys give me. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description below. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more.